And we see the Kings getting ready to go. 2K Sports presents Thursday night of the NBA. Joining me in the booth, Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. And this is Kevin Harlan. And it's been home cooking for the Kings in the midst of a homestand here in Sacramento. Last time they came together was in Dallas, where they fell to the Mavericks.
Yeah, I went back and looked at the tape of that game, guys. I was shocked at how soft they played defensively.
Heck, you didn't need to go back to the tape. All you had to do was look at that box score. I mean, it's obvious they were giving up a lot of high percentage shots.
Now we'll look at Dallas's starting lineup. Dirk and Kaman, they're inside. Collison is out there with Mayo. And it's Richardson in at the 3, the small forward. And for Sacramento, Evans and Robinson are the 3 and the 4. Selman's out there with Brooks. And it's Cousins in at center.
You know, guys, one of the reasons Dallas did not re-sign Tyson Chandler last year was they wanted to preserve some cap space. And they had Dwight Howard in mind, but Dallas has had to use their cap space elsewhere. But, you know, the key was just developing enough flexibility to give them a lot of different options. And I think that's always a factor for any NBA team.
And so it's the Mavericks getting on the board first. Evans with it from about 16, and O.J. Mayo pulls it down. Over Richardson. Here's Robinson up and in on the layup.
And a really poor job boxing out there, guys. A momentary lapse in concentration, I think.
Kicks it out to Nowitzki. The 3. Another 3 for Dallas. Dallas, to me, Steve, always seems a team very mindful of upcoming free agents and cap space restrictions. One of the reasons why they made the moves last year. Even if, Clark, they don't get a big name, they always seem to be in the mix somewhere.
Well, they're always hovering around, and I think it points to the savvy of the front office there, Kevin. I mean, and that's really what allows teams to be competitive over long periods of time. It's not just about the players you have and their talent, but it's how you acquire players and piece together your team.
They're very forward-thinking, right?
Yeah. The defense caught dozing off that time.
Well, those open dunks, pretty high percentage.
Yeah, you're not going to miss many of those. I mean, this is really a poor defensive effort.
Well, it was the Dallas Mavericks winning their last game against the Clippers in Los Angeles.
They took advantage of an opposing defense that looked completely out of sorts in that game, guys.
Yeah, they didn't come up against much resistance at all. I mean, they had success with pretty much whatever they tried.
And Brooks gets it to go.
Well, if you're a basketball fan, you remember Keith Smart hitting the game-winning jump shot for Indiana back in the 1987 Final Four. And went on to have a long career as an assistant coach in the league and now doing a nice job as the main man in Sacramento.
Here's Brooks following the basket by O.J. Mayo. Passes to Selmans. And it's good. Selmans got his first points of the night. And just under 2.5 minutes elapsed here in the first. And Coach Smart likes to keep in touch with his players off the court using text messaging. Check in with them often.
Well, that's the way you got to do it these days. I mean, you know, you got to take advantage of modern technology and be able to relate to your players, whether it's online social networking or whatever it is. I mean, you've got to be able to connect with your players as a coach on some level, and that's a good way for Coach Smart to do it. Well, when you look at DeMarcus Cousins, it's just amazing, his skill and his size. 6'11", 270, but he can pass, he can shoot, he's got great hands, he's got tremendous potential. It's just a matter of him working hard to be consistent on a nightly basis. He's been trying to add that mid-range shot to his arsenal, but it still isn't there.
Straight up, and the dunk by Robinson.
Step aside, step aside. We've got the big fella coming through.
That is a powerful brand of basketball right there.
Man, an amazing putback. You just love the effort from this guy.
Stolen by Robinson. Brooks against Kaman. Robinson a screen on Kaman. Here's Brooks. Robinson. Nowitzki with the steal. Mayo kicks to Collison. It's stolen by Selmans. And the shot is good. And big men with size and talent of DeMarcus Cousins don't come along all that often. He's a strong player, great rebounder. Clark, the ability to score inside and out.
And, you know, he's continuing to make strides. He's cut down on his turnovers. Shot selection is getting better. His footwork is excellent. This is a guy who can really be a force for a long time if he stays on this path.
Well, Robinson is just a physical specimen. When you look at those shoulders, the big thing with him is when he plays hard, when he's attacking the rim as an offensive rebounder and chasing down loose balls, he can have a major impact on the game.
Yeah, no question about it, Steve. And he'll bang with just about anybody, too. I mean, he's got a good nose for the ball. He rebounds well on both backboards. And I think he's improved as a shooter, at least out to 16 feet.
Selmans. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Brooks. Selmans got 6.
You know, it is really hard to miss shots that close to the basket.
Very sad to see where this Sacramento franchise has gone the last 4 or 5 seasons, guys. Remember the heyday back in the early 2000s when they had Vlade Divac, Mike Bibby, Stojakovic. They filled up the building every night back then. And we'll see if they can ultimately get it rolling again here in Sacramento.
Offensive rebound. Hayes dishes to Evans. Over Collison. Nice shot by Evans. Mavericks trailed by 8. There's the triple. Another 3 for Dallas. Steve, that old team you were talking about, those old Kings teams, that was incredible how they played. In fact, I remember the commissioner, Clark, David Stern, said, we would love if the entire league played with that kind of flair and flamboyance and passion that Kings team of that era played with. They were so fun to watch.
They really were, Kev. One of my favorite teams, the way they played. They came close to knocking off the Lakers in the Western Finals, and they really were one of my favorite teams to watch. It shows, Kevin, that you can have and sustain a winning team in a small market like Sacramento. Already they have 8 second chance points here in the first quarter.
Here's Cunningham. Off target from outside. Kings leading now by 7. Selmans gets the bucket. Selmans got 8. Mavericks have gone 6 of 14 shooting the ball since the start of the game. Jones off the mark there with the three-point shot. Here comes Aaron Brooks. Really played well against Memphis in his last outing. And there's the feed to Selmans. A three-pointer off the mark. Brand fires. No good, trying to beat the buzzer. No shortage of scoring here at the end of the first. Tune in. And welcome back. It's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway. And for the Kings, guys, what jumps out to you stats-wise?
I was impressed with their transition game, guys. They really got out and ran the lanes.
Yeah, they did. I mean, no better way to get easy buckets than through fast breaks.
On the court for Dallas here in the second, we've got Jay Crowder. Nowitzki is out there with Brandon Wright. Then it's Bobois, and it's Mayo in at the 2 spot. And that one's good. Burnett's got the first points up on the board here in the second quarter for the Kings. And here's Mayo from beyond the arc. Gets it to go.
That's 9 straight points coming off 3 three-pointers. The defense just getting shelled.
Steve, the threes are killing them. I think they've got to find a way to chase them off the three-point line.
Now, here is Fredette. Outlaw with the bucket.
Incredible. Only took them a few seconds to answer the 3-ball with one of their own.
Let's keep this thing going, guys. I love seeing a three-point battle like this.
Last game for the Kings, they picked up the W against Memphis.
And they played outstanding team defense in that win, Clark. Nobody got stuck on an island. Everybody was helping. Great rotations. It really looked like they were together in that game.
Yeah, and even when they were rotating different players in and out, Steve, I thought their communication was 5-star and the teamwork was very strong.
And we may have an injury here that does not look good.
Injuries are such a difficult part of this game.
And from a glance, you really can't tell just how bad it is, but how about that basketball, man? Beautiful. Wow. You know, that's something he's capable of every trip down.
and it's just impossible to get tired of.
Yeah, there's always this excitement, this aura that surrounds him, guys, and the crowd senses it.
And that replay, sponsored by Sprite, giving us a great look at that one.
Well, Darren Collison, the speed merchant out of UCLA, a scoring point guard, the son of 2 track stars. Boy, he's got quickness. You can't run away from that DNA.
Graham passes to Keenan over Oden, and it's Keenan missing.
Well, you have to get a hand into his face because that's his range right there.
Here's Brooks, and the shot is good. Brooks has got his 3rd bucket of the night.
That's grace over power, guys. That finger roll gets him 2 points. Impressive stuff.
And the basket by Jones. Well, going back to Darren Collison, Clark, not just a speedster, he's a steady outside shooter, too. That makes him tough to handle.
Yeah, and I think, guys, the key for him is the development as a playmaker. You know, we know he can score. He's a scrappy defender, but that's where Collison can continue to grow.
Jason Thompson, he's checked in for Greg Oden. The Mavericks also with a sub. Wallace is checked in for Elton Brand. And so it looks like the Kings will retain possession here. And a little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. And Thompson kicks to Evans. And that one's on target from the wing. Evans has got 4 this quarter. The Mavericks trailed by 14. And here's Richardson. That's good.
The offense has a better flow, and it actually looks better here in the second quarter.
Yeah, they've steadied themselves a little bit, trying to close this gap. And you have to give the ownership a lot of credit for the Mavs' success over the years, guys. A lot of people may not agree with things he has to say, but you can't argue with the success that he's had. He's spent his money, his resources. He's put a ton of passion and energy into building that franchise, and it's developed into one of the best in the entire league. Just adds to what has already been a great day for him.
Jones dishes to Richardson. Back to Jones. Stolen by Evans. And the Kings pushing it up now. Selmans. Yes, and a nice assist from Evans. Selmans got 10 points.
There's that transition offense. It's been big for them in this game.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, that's what they've had working for them. Speed. They've upped the tempo whenever they've had the change.
You talk about passionate ownership on the sideline, actively involved in crafting the roster and the fan experience. You don't get much better than Dallas. From the top all the way down, it's all about winning and not afraid to push for what's best for the NBA.
And I think he wants the best for his players, too, and that's why, as a player, you've got to love, admire, and respect that. You know that he wants to win just as much as you do, and it's easy to go the extra mile and commit to a team where that's the case coming from ownership.
Evans goes in. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
And Tyreek Evans is so tough to cover one-on-one. He's strong, he's quick, great ball handler, able to get by most defenders. I think the question with Evans is whether he can improve that outside shot. You know, can he get to the point where that stroke is really consistent? That's the question.
And that one falls for Evans. And coming back to Tyreek Evans, Steve, as you mentioned, shooting has been the challenge, Clark, for him.
Yeah, and he's worked exhaustively with a shot doctor trying to tinker with his motion and so forth, but the results have been slow in coming, and it's something that he'll just have to continue to chip away at, particularly during the offseason.
And both free throws good for Evans.
You know, he's worked hard to become a better defender, and I think Evans' long arms give him a major edge there. But he should be a player who can guard multiple positions and really cause some havoc, get some steals.
Yeah, and he's scary in the open court, Steve. I mean, with his combination of athleticism, ball handling ability, I mean, it's just almost impossible, virtually impossible to stay in front of him.
Count the bucket.
Well, Mavs coach Rick Carlisle is one of only 11 people to win a title as both a player and as a coach. He was on that Celtics team in '86 that won it all, and of course at the helm for Dallas in 2011.
They get it back. Nowitzki's shot's good. Nowitzki's got 8 points.
Really, they backed off of working it inside. I mean, they haven't gotten it inside as much as they did earlier in the game, and I think they've got to get back to that.
The Mavericks shooting their first free throw of the game right now.
That's been one of the strongest aspects of this team this season. I mean, there have been very few off nights for them at the free throw line.
Jimmer Fredetti's checked in for Tyreek Evans. Thomas passes to Robinson. Can't get it to go. And it's Dallas the other way. Well, you mentioned, Steve, Rick Carlisle's playing days. He played for 5 seasons in the NBA. Not bad for a third rounder.
Yeah, not bad at all. Spent some time with the Celtics. Won a championship, in fact. But he got right into coaching when his playing days ended. Knew exactly what he wanted to do and worked very quickly up through the ranks before taking that head coaching position with Detroit. And, of course, since with the Dallas Mavericks.
Nowitzki, good.
And how much do you love to see the big fella knocking down that three there, guys?
He kicks to Cousins. With the lead pass, Thomas sinks that one from the post.
You know, he got one step ahead of the defense on that one. Excellent job.
Mayo kicks to right. Dallas moving the ball around. Nowitzki for 3. Sacramento grabs the miss.
Boy, but he was close, Kevin, to making the defense pay for lackadaisical coverage there.
Yeah, he had a really good look. I mean, he'll knock that down more often than not.
And Cousins kicks to Outlaw. Back to Cousins. Second chance shot. And Wright pulls it down.
And it is very dangerous to leave him open like that. Lucky break for the defense that he missed it.
Got it up. And he beat the buzzer. But it's no good. And so we wrap up the first half. Kings lead by 8. We'll get right back to the action when we return.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Welcome to the halftime report for this Thursday night. The Sacramento Kings ahead against Dallas. A big game for them right now. A win here would move them into the 8th seed in the conference. Through 2 quarters, Thomas Robinson is in complete control. After 2, he's got 10 points. And look at the work he's been putting on the floor in terms of field goal percentage. He is taking quality shot after quality shot. And on the other side, Dallas just keeps on scrapping. They've dialed in from long range, an incredible shooting performance from outside. An impressive first half for Dirk Nowitzki. He's got a dozen points, and it's been a good overall defensive game for him. He's brought a nice intensity to the floor in this one.
And the second half about to start here in just a few moments. One guy who's been getting it done is Dante Jones.
Now, it's been nothing but positive for this team. The way he's been really selective with his shot making. He's been very unselfish. I think this has been an efficient performance for him.
I agree with you, Steve. Very few questionable decisions, if any, from him, as he has always looked for the best shot every trip down the floor. I mean, I like the fact that he's judicious in his approach.
Well, we've got a moment. Let's set the floor. Brought to you by Gatorade. All fueled up for the second half. On the court for Sacramento. Robinson at 4 with Cousins at the 5. Salmon's out there with Brooks. And it's Evans in at the 3 spot.
Boy, you have to feel a little sorry for Kings fans. When you think about what they've been through the last year or so, it looked like the team was all set to move to Anaheim. That fell through. Then there was a reprieve for Sacramento. They thought they had an exciting new arena deal. That fell apart, and now it's kind of back to square one. Nobody seems to know what's going to happen with this Kings franchise.
And here's Mayo for 3. Another 3 for Dallas.
Big mistake not having more defensive pressure on him out there.
Dishes to Salmons. Cuts to the middle. Here's Robinson. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Excellent game we've seen from Thomas Robinson. He's got 10 points, and he's come away with the steal, too.
Well, when he's had the chance to be a factor defensively, he's taken it. You know, that steal was just another example of it.
And he's good on the second. Just a roller coaster ride for Sacramento and Kings fans. Steve, you're right. Really, what I imagine the team wants is just to have some certainty of where their future is. You know, Clark, that's a big thing for any town, any team.
Without question, Kevin, anytime there's rumors swirling about a team as to where it's going to be located, it can't be good for anybody associated with the organization, especially the players.
And that's Evans penetrating, and it's blocked. Here's Cousins. No good. Nice D from Nowitzki.
They're struggling here. They're just 1 of 5 to start this third quarter. They've got to loosen up here.
That ties the game. Richardson's got 5.
That's 4 of their last 5 coming from long range. This offense is cooking.
Yeah, it's rolling, really rolling. And defensively, they kept collapsing, Steve, and leaving them open. So now they're in trouble. They're in a real dilemma now.
The Kings making a switch here. Hayes is checked in, and Dallas also making a switch. Rand's checked in. Brooks kicks to Selmans. Goes back up. In deep, Robinson drops it in. 13 points in the game.
And all 10 of their last points have come inside the paint, so defensively you've got to make an adjustment.
Yeah, we got to do a little more to stop it, too. I mean, it's coming way too easy for them. At some points, you just got to buck up and say it's not going to happen.
Greg Oden, he's checked in for Sacramento. Wallace is checked in for the Mavs. Crowder comes in for Jason Richardson.
I'm waiting for the fire alarm to go off the way they've come out blazing in the second half. That's 5 straight makes.
Brooks with it. Picked up by Collison. Mayo dishing to Collison. Here's Wallace for the lead. And unable there to get the go-ahead bucket. Kings have gone 2 of 7 from the field in the third. That leaves room for improvements here.
This is Kevin Harlan. Reached up high and brought it down hard.
Well, that's how you do the dunk. That's for darn sure.
That's how you commentate.
You guys are crazy.
You know, once he corralled that rebound, he was in just the right spot to power it back down.
You could see it coming too, couldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that was going to be a simple little putback. He saw the angle and he gave it a little something extra. They are in attack mode right now. That's 10 straight points, guys, all coming inside the paint.
And Steve, if I'm them, I'd keep going right to the heart of that defense like they have been until they do something about it. If they don't offer resistance, take everything you can get in there.
And now let's take a look at a very well-rounded group of players. Shooting guards who can rebound with the big boys. Tyreek Evans is third. Jason Richardson fourth.
You know, it's not easy to do what these players have done in that area, strictly because of positioning. Typically, as a 2-guard, you're going to be on the perimeter a lot more often than you will be inside.
Yeah, but for all of these guys, you can point to their quickness as well as their superb instincts as to why they wound up on the list. I mean, you've got to have that nose for the basketball.
How about the irony for the Kings last year? They drafted Jimmer Fredette high in the first round, and then they get Isaiah Thomas with the last pick in the draft, and it turns out that Thomas is the one who ends up taking over the starting point guard role.
They're running, pushing it up. Cunningham, that's good. And it's a 4-point Maverick lead.
A very hot shooting second half has seen them bring that field goal percentage way up.
Yeah, they're cruising now, really looking to add to this lead, and this has been a clinic, Clark.
Kicks it out to Johnson. Brooks up on top. Again, the miss by Brooks. Mavericks leading by 4. Guys, we've seen some excellent offensive output.
Yes, sir, fellas. They've had it going on big time.
Big time is right, Clark. A lot of momentum here offensively.
And for the Kings, a team just doing everything they can do to try to find a difference maker on the floor, and they could care less that they found their point guard late in the draft, early in the draft. They just wanted to find a point guard.
Well, if you have game that will travel and will show through, and with Jimmer and Thomas manning the backcourt, the Kings have some pretty good talent in those two players that can give them different looks at the point guard spot.
Timeout called by the Kings. One guy who's been getting it done is O.J. Mayo.
He's been locked in from deep. They're giving him too much breathing room and definitely paying the price for it.
Some changes for Sacramento. Robinson's checked in for Thompson. Salmons comes in for James Johnson. And it's Isaiah Thomas in for Aaron Brooks. Then for the Mavericks, Chris Kamen's checked in for Brand. Richardson comes in for O.J. Mayo. And it's Bobo in for Darren Collison.
Now, he took advantage of that mismatch size-wise, went right up with it.
Yeah, he loves those mid-range jumpers.
That's blocked. Nowitzki, the pass to Cunningham. Back to Nowitzki. Cunningham beyond the arc. Rebound, Evans. Evans has got his 3rd rebound on the night. Salmons kicks to Robinson. Evans outside. Some nice ball movement here by the Kings. Thomas dishes to Evans. It's stolen by Bobois. And here we go. The Mavericks on a fast break.
What a throw down there. Man. Always some entertainment value when you go with the windmill jam.
Yeah, rim shaker and Steve a wrist breaker.
Outrageous. Man.
And that last replay, courtesy of Sprite. And the whistle blows is going to be on Roddy Bobois. That's his first foul. Stolen by Brand. Stolen by Brooks. Puts the lead pass in front of him. Here's Robinson. Off target with the open look. The points coming in bunches as we wrap up the third quarter. It's been a good one. The Mavericks on top, up by 8. Don't go anywhere. The final quarter is coming up next on 2K Sports.
This Friday.
Fourth quarter getting going here. It's time for the Sprite Uncontainable Game. Doris Burke with the report. Hi, Doris.
Well, Kev, the Mavericks bench had the uncontainable game in this one. When your number is called, you have got to be prepared. And, gentlemen, everyone on that bench has answered the bell. Back to you.
And, Doris, they've definitely been aided by some tremendous production and help from the bench.
Absolutely, Kevin. The reserves have made a huge contribution here tonight just as soon as they were called on. And they haven't missed a beat. I'll tell you what, you can tell the coach was really counting on them to be a major part of the game plan.
Well, I don't know if they were supposed to be or expected to be this big a part of the plan, but it still worked out beautifully for them.
On the floor right now for the Mavericks, Dirk and Kaman, they're inside. Collison is out there with Mayo, and it's Richardson in at the 3.
Yeah, we're now starting to see them get some high percentage shots in the paint.
Yeah, that's 5 of their last 6 buckets inside the lane, so they're getting really high percentage looks down there.
Shot by Evans. They get it back. And Hayes kicks to Salmons. Brooks up on top. Over Nowitzki. Goes up again. The shot's good from Hayes.
They continue to barrel their way inside, and when's the defense going to adjust?
Well, I'm asking the same question myself, partner. I mean, that's 8 points out of their last 10 coming inside.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Kevin, over that last break, I got a chance to hear what Rick Carlisle said to his team. He wanted his guys to keep up the intensity, saying, if any of you think this game is over, you're wrong. We've got work to do. I don't want to see any letdown on the defensive end of the floor. Guys, let's watch how it plays out.
That's 4 of their last 5 buckets now coming in the paint area.
They're in attack mode right now, barreling in there with bad man intentions.
And the dunk by Robinson.
And this continues to be a shootout.
Well, I'm a fan as well as a commentator, and I love this fast-paced action. I mean, it's going back and forth, back and forth.
Evans against Richardson. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. That's good from Richardson. Elton Brand's checked in for Chris Kaman. He hits one and misses one, each at the line. The Kings trail by 6. Brooks, Richardson covering. Out of bounds, Kings ball as Sacramento keeps possession. A chance to check out the Sacramento Kings upcoming schedule. They'll be playing host to Miami for their next game. And that'll be the middle game of their 5 and their longest homestand of the year. Here's Cousins. Dunks it down.
Well, they really picked up the intensity here since halftime.
I think they got the pep talk in both teams now, really going after each other.
Here's Richardson. Dallas again missing.
Another board, just continuing to add to that big rebound margin.
And it's a bit ironic, guys. I mean, you would think the score wouldn't be so close the way they're dominating the glass, but this one is still in the balance.
Evans kicks to Brooks. He dishes it to Selmans. 4 on the clock. And the rebound goes to the Mavericks. Nowitzki's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. And here's Richardson outside. The shot is off. And the Kings going the other way now. Feeds it to Evans. The shot from the low post is good.
He's been hot for most of this game, and if he keeps it up, this team could turn things around.
Brand passes to Collison. The 3. That's good. And the Mavericks lead by 7.
Another open look from outside. The defense is really struggling to close out on the shooters.
Yeah, making them pay, doing it from long range.
Chuck Hayes, he's checked in for Sacramento. The Mavericks also with a sub. Kamen's checked in. Back to Evans. A floater. And the rebound goes to the Mavericks. Brand dishes to Richardson. Collison, open look. And he nails the jumper. And it's a 9-point Maverick lead. The Kings have gone 6 of 11 since the start of the 4th quarter. Selmans kicks to Cousins. Gets it to go. Cousins has got 4 points in the quarter.
Really, they haven't worked it inside as much as they did earlier in the game. And the way they did it in the first half, I think they've got to get back to trying that. It worked for them then. It should work for them now.
The Kings making a switch here. Robinson's checked in.
As great as they've been on the board so far, they just haven't found a way to get out on top.
Yeah, but if they continue to rebound, they can put together a little run here and cut into this lead.
Boy, this is a shooting exhibition, guys. I mean, he's not wasting any of his chances. There's no way to stop that. I mean, there's nothing you can do when he's coming at him like that.
That's right, Clark. Steve, he is a dangerous, dangerous player.
Yeah, especially when he gets to that launching pad right there in the lane. Pretty one-handed finish. That was nice.
Here's Selmans. Over Mayo. Again, Sacramento.
This team has to tighten up inside. Way too many easy hoops in the lane.
Yep. Hammer time. The defense just couldn't recover in time.
Yeah, the D pretty much went brain neutral on that one, Clark. Wouldn't
yes,
you?
Sir. I like that phrase.
Yeah, I don't use that phrase very often, but to me, that's what happened. He shifted the brain into neutral.
Yes, he did.
That was embarrassing.
And that was Sprite bringing you the close-up on that big-time play. Brooks, the pass to Cousins. Good look. And Elton Brand pulls it down. Mavericks leading by 6. And here's Mayo from beyond the arc. Brooks gets the rebound. Brooks has got 5 rebounds tonight. There's the pass to Selmans. And it's good, assisting on the play with Brooks. Selmans got 4 points in the quarter. Here's Brand.
Oh, man, that was unreal.
Hard it up. Boy, that's phenomenal. I mean, he's got major bounce ability. I can't think of any other way to put it.
Yeah, you would think he needs help to get up that high.
It does seem unreal, doesn't it? I mean, that's just his natural ability, though, guys. And, Clark, bounce ability?
Buries it. And now they trail by just 4.
What a play. The hoop plus the harm.
Excellent concentration on the finish. That's big time.
Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Dallas.
Big play on the front end to finish, despite getting hacked, and big on the back end to knock down the free throw.
The 3 won't fall.
Even against solid defense, he's still going to try to continue to make that shot.
Yeah, no doubt. I wouldn't bet against him in that situation next time. Big time shot.
Really clutch.
Clark, they'll be trying to take as much time off the clock as they can.
Exactly. Expect to see some long possessions out of them going forward.
Collison dishes to Mayo. Baseline jumper. It's in!
That jump shot's like a layup for him when the defense backs off like that.
Well, they're still within reach, but they need a hoop pretty much every time down the floor.
Well, they've got a little life, but they better execute every time.
No good from Cousins. And they foul intentionally. They're going to have to do that now again and again. They're not in the penalty yet.
Well, you do what you have to do to extend this game and try to get the ball back.
In this situation, clock management crucial.
So the first one drops, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. And so both free throws are good. And it's a 5-point game.
I don't need to tell you guys, those free throws are big. It's a 2-possession game now.
Back to Brooks. From deep three-point range, and it's Kaman with the rebound.
This guy's a good three-point shooter, but that was probably from a little bit too far.
Yeah, not what I would call working to get the best shot either.
He hits the first one, and that increases their lead to 6. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 7-point game. Now Brooks takes it right up. Money!
Nice touch near the hoop.
Out of bounds, Sacramento will take possession.
I tell you what, that's just a major unforced error right there, guys. My goodness.
Good!
Great execution coming off that inbounds play.
So it's an arrow victory for the Mavericks, pulling out the W. It was tight, but they managed to come up with the win.
You know, nobody wants to lose a close game, Kevin. It's much better to win those tight ones.
Well, it's time to say so long. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan, along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in.